Chapter 3, Plant Kingdom. In the previous chapter, we looked at the broad classification of living organisms under the system proposed by Whittaker in 1969, wherein he suggested the five kingdom classification, namely Monera, Protista, Fungi, Animalia, and Plantae. In this chapter, we will deal in detail with further classification within kingdom Plantae, popularly known as the plant kingdom. We must stress here that our understanding of the plant kingdom has changed over time. Fungi and members of the Monera and Protista having cell walls have now been excluded from Plantae, though earlier classification placed them in the same kingdom. So, the cyanobacteria that are also referred to as blue-green algae are not algae anymore. In this chapter, we will describe algae, bryophyte, pteridophyte, gymnosperms, and angiosperms under Plantae. Let us look at classification within angiosperm to understand some of the concerns that influence the classification system. The earliest system of classification used only gross superficial morphological characters such as habit, color, number, and shape of leaves, etc. They were based mainly on vegetative characters or on the androecium structure. The system was given by Linnaeus, and the systems were known as artificial because they separated closely related species since they were based on a few characteristics. Also, the artificial systems gave equal weightage to vegetative and sexual characteristics. This is not acceptable since we know that often vegetative characters are more easily affected by environment. As against this, natural system of classification developed, which were based on natural affinities among the organisms and considered not only the external factors but also the internal features like ultrastructure, anatomy, morphology, embryology, and phytochemistry. Such classification for flowering plants was given by George Bentham and Joseph Dalton Hooker. At present, phylogenetic classification system based on evolutionary relationships between the various organisms are acceptable. This assumes that organisms belonging to the same taxa have a common ancestor. We now use information from many other sources to resolve difficulties in classification. These become more important while there is no supporting fossil evidence. Numerical taxonomy, which now easily carried out using computers, is based on all observable characteristics. Numbers and code are assigned to all the characters and the data are then processed. In this way, in numerical taxonomy, each character is given equal importance and at the same time hundreds of characters can be considered. Cytotaxonomy, that is based on cytological information like chromosome number, structure, behavior, and chemotaxonomy, that uses chemical constituent of the plant to resolve confusions, are used by taxonomies these days. Natural system of classification includes large amount of traits. Natural system of classification differs from artificial system of classification in bringing out similarities and dissimilarities. System of classification that employs numerical data to evaluate similarities and dissimilarities is known as phonetics. Algae. Algae are chlorophyll-bearing, simple, thalloid, autotrophic, and largely aquatic, both freshwater and marine organisms. They occur in variety of habitats, moist stones, soils, and wood. Some of them also occur in association with fungi as lichen and with animals, example on sloth bear. The form and size of algae is highly variable, ranging from colonial forms like volvox and the filamentous forms like Ulothrix and Spirogyra. A few marine forms such as kelps form massive plant bodies. The algae reproduce by vegetative, asexual and sexual methods. Vegetative reproduction is by fragmentation. Each fragment develops into a thallus. Asexual reproduction is by production of different kinds of spores, the most common being the zoospores. Zoospores are flagellated, motile, and on germination give rise to new plants. Sexual reproduction takes place through fusion of two gametes. These gametes can be flagellated and similar in size as in Eulothrix, or non-flagellated but similar in size as in Spirogyra. Such reproduction is called isogamous. Fusion of two gametes dissimilar in size as in species of Eudorina is termed as anisogamous. Fusion between one large non-motile static female gamete and a smaller motile male gamete is termed as oogamous. Oogamous is a type of anisogamy. Algae are useful to man in a variety of ways. At least a half of the total carbon dioxide fixation on Earth is carried out by algae through photosynthesis. Being photosynthetic, they increase the level of dissolved oxygen in their immediate environment. They are of paramount importance as primary producers of energy-rich compounds which form the basis of the food cycles of all aquatic animals. Many species of Porphyra, Laminaria and Sargassum are among the 70 species of marine algae used as food. Certain marine brown and red algae produce large amount of hydrocolloids, water-holding substances, example algin, brown algae and carrageen, red algae, which are used commercially. Agar, one of the commercial products obtained from Gelidium and Gracilaria, are used to grow microbes and in preparation of ice creams and jellies. Chlorella, a unicellular alga rich in protein, is used as food supplement even by space travelers. The algae are divided into three main classes: Chlorophyceae, Phaeophyceae and Rhodophyceae. Chlorophyceae. The members of Chlorophyceae are commonly called green algae. The plant body may be unicellular, colonial or filamentous. They are usually grass green due to the dominance of pigments chlorophyll A and B. The pigments are localized in definite chloroplast. The chloroplast may be discoid, plate-like, reticulate, cup-shaped, spiral or ribbon-shaped in different species. Most of the members have one or more storage bodies called pyrenoids located in the chloroplast of Chlorophyceae. Pyrenoids contain protein-rich starch. Some algae may store food in the form of oil droplets. Green algae usually have a rigid cell wall made of an inner layer of cellulose and an outer layer of pectose. Vegetative reproduction usually takes place by fragmentation or by formation of different types of spores. Asexual reproduction is by flagellated zoospores produced in the zoosporangia. The sexual reproduction shows considerable variation in the type and formation of sex cells and may be isogamous, anisogamous or oogamous. Examples of Chlorophyceae are Chlamydomonas, Volvox, Eulothrix, Spirogyra and Chara. Phaeophyceae, brown algae. The members of Phaeophyceae or brown algae are found primarily in marine habitats. They show great variation in size and form. They range from simple branched filamentous forms such as Ectocarpus to profusely branched forms as represented by kelps, which may reach a height of 100 meters. They possess chlorophyll A, C, carotenoids and xanthophylls. They vary in color from olive green to various shades of brown depending upon the amount of xanthophyll pigment fucoxanthin present in them. Food in brown algae is stored as complex carbohydrates which may be in the form of laminarin and mannitol. The vegetative cells have a cellulosic cell wall usually covered on the outside by a gelatinous coating of algin. The protoplast contains, in addition to plastids, a centrally located vacuole and nucleus. The plant body is usually attached to the substratum by holdfast and has a stalk naming the stipe and leaf-like photosynthetic organ called the frond. Vegetative reproduction takes place by fragmentation. Asexual reproduction in most brown algae is by flagellated zoospores that are pear-shaped and have two unequal laterally attached flagella. Sexual reproduction in brown algae may be isogamous, anisogamous or oogamous. Union of gametes may take place in water or within the oogonium. The gametes are pyriform, pear-shaped and bear two laterally attached flagella. The common forms are Ectocarpus, Dictyota, Laminaria, Sargassum and Fucus. Rhodophyceae. The members of Rhodophyceae are commonly called red algae because of the predominance of the red pigment R-phycoerythrin in their body. Majority of the red algae are marine and greater concentration found in warmer areas. They occur in both well-lighted regions close to the surface of water and also at great depths in ocean where relatively little penetrates. The red thalli of most of the red algae are multicellular. Some of them have complex body organization. The food in red algae is stored as Floridian starch, which is very similar to amylopectin and glycogen in nature. The red algae usually reproduce vegetatively by fragmentation. They reproduce asexually by non-motile spores and sexually by non-motile gametes. Sexual reproduction is only oogamous and accompanied by the complex post-fertilization developments. The common members are Polysiphonia, Porphyra, Gracilaria and Gelidium. Bryophytes. Bryophytes includes various mosses and liverworts that are found commonly in moist, shaded areas in the hills. Bryophytes are also called amphibians of the plant kingdom because these plants can live in soil but are dependent on water for sexual reproduction. These usually occur in damp, humid and shady localities. They play an important role in plant succession on bare rocks or soil. The plant body of bryophytes is more differentiated than that of algae. It is thallus-like and prostrate or erect and attached to the substratum by unicellular or multicellular rhizoids. Liverworts rhizoids are unicellular and mosses rhizoids are multicellular. Bryophytes lack true roots, stem or leaves. They may have processes like root-like, leaf-like or stem-like structures. The main plant body of bryophyte is haploid. It produces gametes, hence it is called a gametophyte. The sex organ in bryophytes are multicellular. The male sex organ is called antheridium. They produce biflagellous antherozoids. The female sex organ called archegonium is flask-shaped and produces a single egg. The antherozoids are released into water where they come in contact with archegonium and antherozoids fuses with egg to produce the zygote. The zygote do not undergo reduction division immediately. They produce a multicellular body called a sporophyte. The sporophyte is not free-living but attached to the photosynthetic gametophyte and derives nourishment from it. Some cells of the bryophyte undergo reduction division meiosis to produce haploid spores. These spores germinate to produce gametophyte. Bryophytes in general are of little economic importance, but some mosses provide food for herbaceous mammals, birds and other animals. Species of sphagnum, a moss, provide peat that have been used as fuel and as a packing material for transshipment of living material because of their capacity to hold water. Mosses along with lichens are the first organisms to colonize rocks and hence are of greater ecological importance. They decompose rocks, making the substrate suitable for the growth of higher plants. Since mosses form dense mats on soil, they reduce the impact of falling rain and prevent soil erosion. The bryophytes are divided into liverworts and mosses. Liverworts. The liverworts grow usually in moist, shady habitats such as banks of streams, marshy grounds, damp soil, bark of trees, and deep in the woods. The plant body of liverwort is thalloid, example Merchantia. The thallus is dorsiventral and closely appressed to the substrate. The leafy members have tiny leaf-like appendages in two rows on the leaf-like structure, on the stem-like structure. Asexual reproduction in liverworts takes place by fragmentation of thalli or by formation of specialized structure called gymi. Gymi are green multicellular asexual buds which develops in small receptacles called gyma cups located on the thalli. The gymi becomes detached from the parent body and germinate to form new individuals. During sexual reproduction, male and female sex organs are produced either on the same or on the different thalli. The sporophyte is differentiated into foot, seta and capsule. After meiosis, spores are produced within the capsule. These spores germinate to form free-living gametophytes. Mosses. The predominant stage of the life cycle of a moss is gametophyte that consists of two stages. The first stage is protonema stage which develops from a spore. It is green, creeping, branched and frequently filamentous stage. The second stage is leafy stage which develops from secondary protonema as a lateral bud. They consist of upright, slender axis bearing spirally arranged leaves. They are attached to the soil through multicellular and branched rhizoids. This stage bear the sex organs. Vegetative reproduction in mosses is by fragmentation and budding in the secondary protonema. In sexual reproduction, the sex organs antheridia and archegonia are produced at the apex of leafy shoots. After fertilization, the zygotes develop into a sporophyte consisting of foot, seta and capsule. The sporophyte in mosses is more elaborate than in liverworts. The capsule contains spores. Spores are formed by meiosis. The mosses have an elaborate mechanism of spore dispersal. Common examples of mosses are Funaria, Polytrichum and Sphagnum. Common examples of liverworts are Merchantia. Embryonic development in bryophytes takes place in archegonia. In bryophytes, fertilization produces embryo in the mouth or water of archegonium. In bryophytes, sporophyte is attached to gametophyte. Pteridophytes. The pteridophytes include horsetails and ferns. Pteridophytes are used for medicinal purposes and as soil binders. They are also frequently grown as ornamentals. Evolutionarily, they are the first terrestrial plants to possess vascular tissues, xylem and phloem. The pteridophytes are found in cool, damp, shady places though some may flourish well in sandy soil conditions. You may recall that in the bryophytes, the dominant phase in the life cycle is the gametophytic plant body. However, in pteridophytes, the main plant body is a sporophyte which is differentiated into true roots, stem and leaves. These organs possess well differentiated vascular tissues. The leaves in Pteridophyta are small microphyls as in Selaginella or large macrophyls as in ferns. The sporophytes bear sporangia that are subtended by leaf-like appendages called sporophylls. In some cases, sporophylls may form distinct compact structure called strobili or cones. In example, Selaginella and Equisetum. The sporangia produce spores by meiosis in spore mother cells. The spores germinate to give rise to inconspicuous, small but multicellular, free-living, mostly photosynthetic thalloid gametophytes called prothallus. These gametophytes require cool, damp, shady places to grow. Because of this specific restricted environment and the need for water of fertilization, the spread of living pteridophytes is limited and restricted to narrow geographical regions. The gametophytes bear male and female sex organs called antheridia and archegonia respectively. Water is required for transfer of antherozoids, the male gametes released from the antheridia, to the mouth of archegonium. Fusion of male gamete with the egg present in the archegonium result in the formation of zygote. Zygote thereafter produces a multicellular well-differentiated sporophyll, which is dominant phase of pteridophytes. In majority of the pteridophytes, all the spores are of similar kinds, such as Homosporous. Genera like Selaginella and Salvinia, which produce two kinds of spores, macro, large, and small microspores, are known as heterosporous. The megaspores and microspores germinate and give rise to female and male gametophytes respectively. The female gametophytes in these plants are retained on the parent sporophyte for variable periods. The development of the zygotes into young embryo takes place within the female gametophytes. This event is a precursor of the seed habit considered as important step in evolution. The pteridophytes are further classified into four classes: Coelopsida, Coelotum; Lycopsida, Selaginella lycopodium; Sphenopsida, Equisetum; Pteropsida, Dryopteris pteris ediantum. Gymnosperms. The gymnosperms, gymnos means naked and sperma means seeds, are plants in which the ovules are not enclosed by any ovary and remain exposed both before and after fertilization. The seeds that developed post-fertilization are not covered, that is, are naked. Gymnosperms include medium-sized trees or tall trees and shrubs. Note that gymnosperm do not include herbs. One of the gymnosperm, the giant redwood tree Sequoia, is one of the tallest tree species. The roots in gymnosperms are generally tap roots. Roots in some genera have fungal association in the form of mycorrhiza, pinus, while in some other cycas, small specialized roots called coralloid roots are associated with nitrogen-fixing cyanobacteria. The stems are unbranched as in cycas or branched in pinus and cedrus. The leaves may be simple or compound. In cycas, the pinnate leaves persist for a few years. The leaves in gymnosperms are well adapted to withstand extreme of temperature, humidity and wind. In conifers, the needle-like leaves reduce the surface area. Their thick cuticle and sunken stomata also help to reduce water loss. The gymnosperms are heterosporous. They produce haploid microspores and megaspores. The two kinds of spores are produced within sporangia that are borne on sporophylls, which are arranged spirally along the axis to form lacs or compact strobili or cones. The strobili bearing microsporophylls and microsporangia are called microsporangiate or male strobili. The microspores develop into a male gametophytic generation, which is highly reduced and confined in a very limited number of cells. This reduced gametophyte is called pollen grain. The development of pollen grain takes place within the microsporangia. The cones bearing megasporophylls with ovules or megasporangia are called macrosporangiate or female strobili. The male or female cones or strobili may be borne on the same tree in Pinus or in the different tree Cycas. The megaspore mother cell is differentiated from one of the cell of the nucellus. The nucellus is well protected by envelopes and the composite structure is called an ovule. The ovule are borne on megasporophylls which may be clustered to form female cones. The megaspore mother cell divides meiotically to form 4 megaspores. One of the megaspores enclosed within the megasporangium develops into multicellular female gametophyte that bears 2 or more archegonia or female sex organs. The multicellular female gametophyte is also retained within megasporangium. Unlike bryophytes and pteridophytes, in gymnosperm, the male and female gametophytes do not have an independent free-living existence. They remain within the sporangia retained on the sporophytes. The pollen grain is released from the microsporangium. They are carried in air currents and come in contact with the opening of ovules borne on megasporophylls. The pollen tube carrying the male gamete grown towards the archegonia in the ovules land and discharge their contents near the mouth of the archegonia, which is known as siphonogamy. Following fertilization, zygote develops into an embryo and the ovules into seeds. These seeds are not covered or naked. Pinus is bisexual, Citrus is unisexual. Envelope protected nucellus is known as ovule. Sago, Cycas, Chilgosa, Pinus. Cycas and Ginkgo are considered as living fossil. Angiosperms. Unlike gymnosperms where the ovules are naked, in angiosperms or flowering plants, the pollen grains and ovules are developed in specialized structure called flowers. In angiosperms, the seed are enclosed in fruits. The angiosperms are an exceptionally large group of plants occurring in wide range of habitats. They range from smallest wolfia to tall trees of eucalyptus over 100 meters. They provide us with food, shelter, fodder, medicines and several other commercially important products. They are divided into two classes, dicot and monocot. Dicot, reticulate venation, monocot, parallel venation. Dicot, tetra or pentamerous flowers, monocot, trimerous flowers. The male sex organ in a flower is the stamen. Each stamen consists of slender filament with an anther at the tip. Within the anthers, the pollen mother cell divide by meiosis to produce microspores which mature into pollen grains. The female sex organ in the flower is the pistil. The pistil consists of ovary as at its base, a long slender style and a stigma. Inside the ovary, ovules are present. Generally, each ovule has a megaspore mother cell that undergoes meiosis to form 4 haploid megaspores. 3 of them degenerate and 1 divide to form embryo sac. Each embryo sac has 3-celled egg nucleus, 1 egg cell, 2 synergids, 3 antipodal cells and 2 polar nuclei. That is 7-celled egg nucleated structure. The polar nuclei eventually fuse to produce a diploid secondary nucleus. Pollen grain, after dispersal from the anthers, are carried by wind or various other agencies to the stigma of a pistil. This is termed as pollination. The pollen grains germinate on the stigma and resulting pollen tubes grow through the tissues of the stigma and style and reach the ovule. The pollen tubes enter the embryo sac where the 2 male gametes are discharged. One of the male gametes fuses with the egg cell syngamy to produce a zygote. The other male gamete fuses with the diploid secondary nucleus to produce the triploid primary endosperm nucleus. Because of the occurrence of two fusions, that is syngamy and triple fusion, this event is termed as double fertilization, an event unique to angiosperms. The zygote develops into an embryo with one or two cotyledons, and primary endosperm nucleus develops into an endosperm which provides nourishment to the developing embryo. Remember, formation of endosperm is before the development of embryo. During these events, the ovules develop into seeds and the ovaries develop into fruit. The life cycle of angiosperm is as shown in the diagram. Plant life cycles and alternation of generations. In plants, both haploid and diploid cells can divide by mitosis. This ability leads to the formation of different plant bodies, haploid and diploid. The haploid plant body produces gametes by mitosis. This plant body represents a gametophyte. Following fertilization, the zygote also divides by mitosis to produce diploid sporophytic plant body. Haploid spores are produced by this plant by meiosis. This in turn divide by mitosis to form haploid plant body once again. Thus, during the life cycle of any sexually reproducing plants, there is an alternation of generations between the gametes producing haploid gametophyte and spore producing diploid sporophyte. However, different plant groups as well as individuals representing them differ in following patterns. First, sporophytic generation is represented only by the one-celled zygote. There is no free-living sporophyte. Meiosis in zygote results in the formation of haploid spores. The haploid spores divide mitotically to form the gametophytes. The dominant photosynthetic phase in such plants is the free-living gametophyte. This kind of life cycle is termed as haplontic. Many algae such as volvox, Spirogyra and some species of Chlamydomonas represent this pattern. On the other extreme is the type wherein the diploid sporophyte is dominant photosynthetic independent phase of the plant. The gametophytic phase is represented by the single to few-celled haploid gametophyte. This kind of life cycle is termed as diplontic. An alga, Fucus, represents this pattern. In addition, all seed-bearing plants, that is gymnosperms and angiosperms, follow this pattern with some variations wherein the gametophytic phase is few to multicelled. Bryophytes and pteridophytes interestingly exhibit an intermediate condition, haplodiplontic. Both phases are multicellular. However, they differ in their dominant phases. A dominant independent photosynthetic thalloid or erect phase is represented by haploid gametophyte, and it alternates with the short-lived multicellular sporophyte, totally or partially dependent on the gametophyte for its anchorage and nutrition. All bryophytes represent this pattern. The diploid sporophyte is represented by a dominant independent photosynthetic vascular plant body. It alternates with multicellular saprophytic autotrophic independent but short-lived haploid gametophyte. Such a pattern is known as haplodiplontic life cycle. All pteridophytes exhibit this pattern. Interestingly, while most algal genera are haplontic, some of them such as Ectocarpus, Polysiphonia, Kelps are haplodiplontic. Fucus and Alga is diplontic. In short, haplontic life cycle is shown by all algae except some. Diplontic life cycle is shown by angiosperm and gymnosperm plus Fucus. Haplodiplontic life cycle is shown by bryophytes and pteridophytes plus Ectocarpus, Polysiphonia and Kelps.